Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just get started. All the beginning stuff is, the check-ins and things. So, um, okay, so we're going to focus on is choice boards today. And so you've been learning about Knowledge Constructor, which is giving students choice and teaching them how to gather their own knowledge. And choice boards are a really great way to do this. Now, the concept of choice boards are not new. Choice boards existed probably when you were in elementary school. What's new is being able to sort of up the game of the choice board by making it digital, by being able to offer more complex resources, different activities, and so making it much more higher level than it was 20 years ago. Um, so we're going to do our check-in, and then I'm going to just do a sort of a what do you need to do to make a choice board work and what doesn't work. Um, and then we're going to look at some templates that you can use. And then you're going to start making your own. And what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to put everyone into their own breakout room. And I'm going to meet with each person individually to help you plan your choice board and answer any questions that you have. Then we'll come back and we'll do next steps. All right, so for our check-in today, it's an emoji check-in. So in the chat, you're just going to put which of these emojis represents you for today. Um, Now, I have emoji keyboard, but most people don't. So when you do something like this, it's kind of fun just to do a number. Um, so you just put in the number in the chat that represents you today. Hi, Gilbert. So we're just picking one of these emojis as our check-in to how do we feel today? Yeah. All right. So two happies, a tired. Give Vanessa a second. I'm not sure she's dealing with kiddos or looking it up. Yeah, yeah. So Vanessa's got all her kids at home, so she's got the face. I'm with you too, Gilbert. Like my energy level starts so high on Monday, and then just sort of like Wednesday is my low, and then I kind of peak back up towards Friday. So I totally get that one. So hopefully we'll keep today moving. We're such a small class too, and we might not even go the whole time. So we'll see what happens. So this is a fun one to do. It's fun to pick some like random emojis or just like other things that you can pick. I use something called the uh, emoji keyboard, and there's a couple different ones. This is the one I use. Um, it just has a lot of people, flags, symbols, transportation, and then you can just drop it in. I find that really helpful, like in Google Classroom. Well, you've seen the emojis that I put on Blackboard, but in Google Classroom and stuff, I'll put in emojis just to help differentiate between assignments, like things that are in the book. I put like the book emoji or like a notebook for student notes and things like that. And so you can just find those on the Chrome Web Store. They're just extensions, and they make it easy to include emojis to your students. Um, Even like with parents, sometimes when I send emails, I'll put emojis with like different symbols that indicate like what the bullets are about. Um, so if like I'm sending a reminder, I don't know why this is not popping up, but I might like use an alarm emoji and then put the information. So that's just kind of fun. So you just search in the Chrome Web Store, emoji or emoji keyboard, um, and you could just pick. There's a bunch of them. Um, I don't know which one I have here. Um, but they're all kind of pretty much the same, and then just allows you to drop emojis in really easy like text, which is kind of fun. um, So just a little something for you today. All right, so choice boards. So again, let me just go back for a second. So Gilbert, we're gonna go over sort of what helps choice board to work and what doesn't, and then we're gonna look at some templates, and then I'm gonna work individually with all of you on creating one. So you'll have some like work time on your assignment while you're in here, but then I'll also conference. And that's something that I miss from teaching this class in person is I used to be able to walk around the room and help people. And so this kind of is the best solution. So you'll see most choice boards being some sort of interactive, a doc, a slide, a site. You can use Word as well. The problem with using Word or PowerPoint is you don't know that every student has access to those. And the benefit of these three is that they're web-based. But PDFs can also work as choice boards because if you save a PDF right, the links are clickable. So you could also use a PDF as a choice board as well. But it wants to be something that you can layer in. Also, I've seen Google Draw as choice boards. I've used that as well. All right, so do they work? It really depends on how you structure it. It can be a total waste of time and busy work, or it can be meaningful. And so there's a couple factors you want to include. Do you have varying choices? Are there a lot of different types of activities? Are there different types of resources? Do you have videos and articles? Because some students will like to watch a video and some students like to read. So if you can have varying resources, that makes your choice board more powerful. In high school, when you're teaching, especially when you're doing current events, it's good to have like varying news sources to really think about your news sources. Do I have some more conservative, more liberal, more neutral news sources, and let kids pick? And then you're varying the choices of things they can do. Are there things that more creative students will like? Are there things that students who are a little more like, I like questions and answers? Are there just different ways that kids can demonstrate the knowledge they've collected? Okay, so we want them to be able to choose the knowledge, gather the knowledge, and then share that knowledge. And so you want to give a lot of choices in how people gather the knowledge because that helps teach higher level thinking skills. And then we want to give choices in how students share the knowledge that they gathered. And you want to structure it. A lot of times students think in my class they have freedom, but they don't. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. We structure it in a way that they think that they have lots of choice, but in fact, they're in this bubble that we've created for them. And depending on the grade level, you're going to have more structure, right? It's going to be more defined what their choices are. Giving a kindergartner 15 choices is not smart. They can't handle that. They don't know what you're doing, okay? So you want to really think about what is my grade level and what amount of structure do I need for that grade level? Also, what is the topic? Is the topic something if they're looking things up, they could go in a bad place that parents aren't going to like, right? You got to really think about when they're out on the internet, making that safe. And then we want the learning to be meaningful. So we don't want a choice to be a crossword, a word search, and something else that is useless. We want these to be things usually that they're creating. When you create or you build or you apply or you mind map, that's a higher level thinking skill. You evaluate, you analyze, you create. Those are higher order thinking skills. You can include a choice that's like vocab. Like sometimes one of my choices is create like a Quizlet, create vocab flashcards. But I would only do that level one if they also had to do another activity that was harder. So sometimes there'll be two activities they have to do. And the first activity is like lower level. It's like, okay, you can choose between summarizing, you can choose between making Quizlet flashcards, you can choose making a top 10 list. That's one of my favorites. It's actually really hard to make a top 10 list. And that's like a level, lower level, level 1 or 2 depth of knowledge. And then after they've done that, then you give them a higher order thinking skill where they're creating or analyzing or explaining or evaluating. So you can do that, but you want to work towards, remember we talked about SAMR that first class, you want to work towards more meaningful. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want you guys to open up another tab and you're going to go to Slides Mania. I'll put it in the chat too. Slidesmania.com. And she just added ads, but for a long time, she just made templates like for fun. That's just like how she got her kicks. And then everyone's like, you need to charge for these. And she's like, I don't want to. So then for a while, there's a thing, actually she still has it on here. You can buy her a cup of coffee. I don't know if you see this down in the bottom, but you could actually buy her a cup of coffee and thank her for making you a slide template. But then she just recently added ads. All right, so the reason why, is everyone there? Can you give me a thumbs up or a hands up or something if you've been able to open it up? Brittany, are you good? Okay. All right. So the reason I want you to try this one is because she has so many great things for teachers. And so she's got interactive, she's got notebooks. We're not doing notebooks today, but I'm just going to show you. So she just added ads, which is annoying, but also bless her because like she did this for free too long. So be careful because the ones with X's are ads. These are different notebooks you can do. So like these are good for distance learning because they're like agendas. This is like a journal. They have like a yearbook one. So these are all templates you can use. And then also under education, she's got manipulatives, which are good to put in Jamboards, which we'll talk about later. But you can see like she's got market ones for counting money. And then she's got like a weather one for teaching weather. And then there's a bunch of planners in here. So if you're the kind of teacher that likes a planner, but maybe you want to make it digital, these are all digital planners you could do as a teacher. Okay, these are weekly ones, but she's got full, and she always comes up with new ones at the end in August of yearly planners. So these are yearly planners for teachers to use. But why we're here today is under education, she has choice boards and games. Choice boards and games. Okay. And this is, I think, what's really nice because choice boards can be super overwhelming on how to make them. And she's got some really fun templates. Now, you don't have to use one of these. You could do your own. But the way that it works is you can look through, and she's also nice because a lot of times she'll have videos on how to use it. So this is a video on how to, on what it looks like. Okay. But then you can also just put page through. So this choice board's kind of fun. So when they click on choice 2, it's their second activity. If they press the home, it goes back to the home. Pick on 6, here's a 6th activity. There's a home, okay? So that's a fun one. So what I just want to do is take 10 minutes and have you just look at a couple of these choice boards. And again, be careful the ones that have the X, those are ads. But this is a choice board and this is one. This is fun. It's a guess who. This one's 2. These are good for teaching history, the guess who ones. This is like an elevator game, true or false. So go ahead and just look through this website. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes and you don't have to use one of these, but these are just some options maybe you might want to use. So I'm just going to give you 10 minutes to look at these right now. I'm going to mute myself. Okay, a little less than 2 minutes, and then we're gonna just talk about these and then start planning um, what your choice board might be. So even if you don't use one of these, because you can use a Google Doc, you can use a Google site, you can use a drawing. I just wanted you to see sort of different ideas for structuring choice boards, so that you just had some ideas in your mind. Again, no pressure. You don't have to use these, but there's just such a variety there. I thought they were good templates to use, and I have used them before. All right, so we're gonna make our choice board now. So grab a piece of paper or scratch paper, something to write on. So the first thing you have to figure out is who are these kiddos you're trying to help, right? Who's gonna be doing the learning? So pick a grade level. I always encourage educational studies students to not go below second grade, just because we get into a lot of issues below second grade as far as like basic ability to read directions. And so if you're going to do a choice board for littles, you might have to include a video or something that goes over the directions on your first slide, because they just basic direction reading is still a skill we're working on. So I always say start at second or third grade. Then what's the subject area? Are you going to teach something in English, something in math, science, social studies, music? It could be PE, art, any of those things can work. Elementary teachers have the best job because they get to teach everything, right? Secondary is a little harder because you get forced into just your one or two subject areas. But elementary teachers, I mean, basically anything you want to teach, you can teach, as you'll learn when you guys take the CSET. Um, and then what's your topic or standard? We're not getting too deep into standards in this class. We're more focused on technology. But, what do you want students to learn? What specifically do you want them to learn? And that might be a topic. It also might be a skill, right? So maybe I want them to learn about um, life cycles, but I also want them to learn um, about cause and effect. Okay, so you could be learning a standard, but also learning a skill. Okay, it doesn't, they don't, it can't, it doesn't have to be just one thing you want them to learn. Looks like most of us are good on those three. Okay. All right, so now pick a structure. And in the directions for this assignment, I suggested these three. You don't have to use these three, but I do want it to be multi-step. So I don't want it to just be like a bingo board and they just pick three random things. So three that I like are read, discuss, and write. I think read, discuss, and write is just a generally really good lesson plan. But depending on your grade level and your subject, that might not work. Another one is learn and then create, or explore and create. Again, it doesn't have to be these three per se, but I do want it to be multi-step. So they should be doing one thing and then doing something else. Learn and apply, um, explore and apply. But there should be multiple steps. So not just six random things. So kind of think, what am I going to do? Which structure am I going to use? So you pick one or your own variation. I don't want to stop you from doing you. Okay. Then I just want you to just take 3 minutes and kind of draw out sort of what you think it's going to look like on paper first before we try to go anywhere digital. What's the store going to look like? Are you going to do columns? Are you going to do a square? Are you going to do a shape and they pick on different things? What's it going to look like? All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put you all in breakout rooms and then I'm just going to pop into each one individually and just kind of talk through what you're thinking and help fill any holes or gaps that you have in or any ideas that you need. Okay. Um, so give me, I want to make 4 rooms.